Hello, folks. I'm here with another slideshow, and today I'm going to be talking about IEPs in Bucks County Mental Health Department versus Pennsylvania. First, let's get into the IEP portion, which I found extremely interesting because I'm a first-year teacher in Richmond Public Schools, and this is something I don't know very much about, and part of the reason why I wanted to take this class. So the first thing we'll talk about is 8 Virginia Code 2081-110, the Individualized Education Program. What I learned about this was the different responsibilities that the local educational agency has and how those IEPs are developed according to the strengths of the child, the concerns of the parents, enhancing their child's education, and the results of evaluations of the child, and then the academic, developmental, and functional needs of the child. This portion also talked more about the evaluation process and the reevaluation process every 3 years. I learned specifically what my role as a teacher is in meetings and how I am able to identify students and refer them to special education specialists within my school. So that was really helpful. In this particular case that I found, this case talks about the concerns of the parents and making sure that their IEPs are being followed according to how they want them to be implemented in their child's education. So this case is Bucks County Department of Mental Health versus Pennsylvania. And the plaintiffs were Barbara DeMora. Her daughter, ID, had pervasive developmental delay, cerebral palsy, and deafness. She was eligible for intervention services under IDEA Part C. She was suing Bucks County and this Pennsylvania Office of Mental Health, who were in charge of coordinating services for her daughter, ID, who is identified as simply ID in this case. An Individualized Family Service Plan, or IFSP as they called it, which is equivalent to what we know as an IEP, was issued for ID, but her mother disagreed with the services. So what she did is she asked for the Lavasse treatment, which is a very specialized treatment, which pretty much identifies on a case-by-case basis of what a child with these types of disabilities need and how they should be treated. So the service was a specialized service for the needs of the particular case, not a one-size-fits-all approach. DeMora sought this training on her own as well as sought treatment for ID in the meantime. She sued the county for the treatment of her child in the amount totaling just under $10,000 and won. While she was awarded money, this case provided a basis for IDEA in saying that if IEPs are deficient in providing the care for the child, then qualified professionals can step in. In this case, Lavasse-trained professionals were hard to find, so DeMora was an exception. So in summary, if an IEP is deficient in providing FAP, then a qualified professional can be brought in, and it is the agency where the accountability lies, which would have to pay for the qualified service. So if this were to happen in Richmond, that local service would be the Richmond Public Schools, according to, again, 8 VAC 2081-110. The local school division's responsibility is limited to special education and related services. So to me, that directly identifies that responsibility to the school district, according to Virginia. So I'm a first-year middle school history teacher and have limited experience with IEPs other than following the basic guidelines that are provided. But what I've learned the most from looking into this topic was how they come to be and are evaluated and reevaluated. I think it is extremely important as content teachers to communicate with the special education specialists in our schools if we have any reason to suspect a student needs help or has a deficiency. I also understand from this particular case that sometimes the school district may not have the qualified professionals to help each case, as in ID situation. I do work in inclusion class and could see how a parent could argue that the trained professionals in the public setting do not fit their child's need, since each student may present their own situation, and each parent may want to completely individualize that situation for their child, within reason, of course. Now I also have a better understanding of my role as a teacher to ensure each individual aspect of an IEP is carried out with urgency and care. I have followed them to the best I can now, but I am also limited in my training thus far, and this classwork has already helped further my understanding of the IEP process and its implementation. So thanks again for listening. Hope you all have a good week.